I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Hello friends, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Dara and I talk about books, writing, and I do vlogs. So today we're going to be talking about the books that I read in February. And let me just tell you, I was a reading machine in February. I don't know how. I just could not stop consuming books. It felt so good. Just so you guys know, March is probably not going to be the same because I am participating in the Tome Topple, which is reading books that are 500 pages or more. And of course, the longer the book, the longer it takes you to read it. So probably not going to be another huge month for me. And I'm also really pushing my writing this month. So, but we're talking about February. So I'm going to go just in the order of the books that I read. First book I completed in February was Kingdom of the Wicked. And I gave this book, and it's by Carrie Maniscalco, sorry. She also wrote the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and I think that's it. That was her debut series, and it was really good. I was nervous about this because a couple of the books in that series got 3 stars from me, and it's like every other book I love and every other book I'm like, whatever. This one was amazing. So this one follows twins. Well, it follows one twin because she finds her sister dead and she's trying to find the murderer. But they're witches and there are demons from hell. All the 7 deadly sins are also a demon. So there's wrath, pride, glutton, envy, all of them. Well, we've only met some in the first book. This book does continue into a series. But wrath is the main demon that we see, and he is just the epitome of a bad boy. Sometimes it was a little over the top, but mostly I loved it, and it was steamy without being like vulgar. It wasn't like R-rated or anything, but I did love this book, and I can't wait for the next one to come out. The second book that I finished was Foundryside, and that one was by Robert Jackson Bennett, right? Let me check. Yes. I did give that one only 3 stars. The beginning, I was a little bored, but I had just finished another book and hopped straight into that one, so that could have something to do with it. It did suck me in and get really good. Like, I was just blowing through this, and it was incredible. So it is about a girl who can like feel scribed items, like she can sense their presence, and she comes upon a scribed key. And it is something that the enemy or the bad guys in the book are very, very, very sought after. So she has it, and it turns out the key can like communicate like a normal person, and it's got somewhat memories of being a human. It's very strange. I loved the relationship so much. I love that. That was my favorite part about this book, was the characters and their relationships together, friend-wise or otherwise. But the romance line just wasn't sold on me. I couldn't get into it. And at the end, I was just kind of over it. I did not care one way or another what happened. So I will not be continuing that, which is a bummer because a lot of people rave about that series, but it's just not, it's not for me. The third book I finished in February was These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And this book was really, really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and it's set in the 20s in Shanghai, and it follows the soon-to-be leaders of the 2 rival gangs there. There's the Scarlets and the White Flowers. The Scarlets, the heiress is Juliet, and the heir of the White Flowers is Roma. So this is kind of a retelling or a respun story of Romeo and Juliet, Roma and Juliet. So they are star-crossed lovers basically, and they're not supposed to be together, of course. They're part of rival gangs. But aside from the romance arc, which I thought was phenomenal, I loved the romance arc, there is a monster or sickness in the city. That part I wasn't really sold on very well. It was the monster part. The sickness and like what was happening to people was fascinating, but for some reason I could not picture this monster like plausibly. And I know that sounds weird because it's a fantasy book. Like, fantasy is nothing but made up shit. Like, I know that, but that was the only thing holding it back from 5 stars. I am continuing the series. I loved it. It was my first book I ever tabbed, so it is a special series to me. But that was, yeah, the only thing keeping it from 5 stars was the monster part. I am intrigued to see what happens in the next book. Like, where are we going? What about Roma and Juliet? The ending was definitely cliffhangery, so I want this book so bad. Okay, the next 2 books I read, I'm kind of putting together on the screen because I did it for a challenge, the blind date with a book challenge that my library did. Both of these books got 3 stars. We had The Notebook and The Best Part of Me, or wait, The Best of Me. I don't know why it's The Best of Me. Both by Nicholas Sparks, both 3 stars. The Notebook is about, of course, like a misconnection, mislove, coming together again. If you've seen the movie, it's fairly similar. The ending is a little bit different. Actually, it's completely different. But if you've seen the movie, it's pretty similar. So there's that, and then The Best Part, or The Best of Me, get it together. The Best of Me is, it started out almost the same. It was a guy who was single from the last time he was with this girl. It was like their long lost love, and then they come together for a weekend because that's just, there was a death, sorry. A mutual friend died, and that's how they come together again. The ending of that book, though, was completely different, and I was actually a little shocked, okay? I didn't see this coming. I still didn't care for what happened in the end, but I will give him props. I should give him another star for that, but I will give him props for switching it up and making the ending different than what I expected, for sure. The 6th book I read in February was The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. In this one, we're following Fitz, who is a child, but he is, for lack of better words, a bastard. That's what he's called all the time because his dad was a nobleman or a prince. I'm pretty sure he was a king, actually. And so Fitz is technically a prince, like by blood, but since his mother is not of the correct station, he's not considered a prince. He's just a bastard, and they treat him as such until he's a little bit older, like 7 or 8, and then they're like, no, he needs to come at least live, I don't think in the palace, but in the keep, I think it's called, that all the other noblemen and important people live at. He is still looked down upon, and he's just getting a very basic education. He's still helping take care of animals, and he has the ability to kind of talk to animals, not like converse, but to kind of soothe and at least communicate feelings. And it's really interesting to see. I give it a 4 star. I'm not 100% sure I would continue with the series if it weren't for other people saying keep going. The first book was good, not amazing, but good. And it was really enjoyable and entertaining. But the second one is where it really picks up, because as the name implies, The Assassin's Apprentice, he's learning to be an assassin. The street sweeper is coming by, so, but everyone says the next book is better. It's similar to, like, well, not in any way, shape, or form story-wise to A Court of Thorns and Roses, but when you read that one, it's usually like, it's okay, and then but the next one is like 5 stars. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to continue this. Book number 7 is Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. This one follows Lucy, who is part Asian, part English, I want to say. Yeah, because it's like Lucy Churchill, her family, her father's side is from the Churchills, who are super important. And here comes the sweeper again. Anyways, this one follows Lucy Churchill. She and this character, George, they meet at a wedding in Italy, and they start to maybe hook up or like get really close, and her cousin is like, no, you can't, like, he's not good enough, you need to find someone higher up. Him and his mom are too eccentric and like wild, basically, not in a party way, but just like too out there for her cousin's taste. And so she listens to her cousin. 5 years later, they meet up again, and it's It's basically a love story, but it is so funny. I literally was sitting there reading this book when we were watching the jets take off and land. Oh my gosh. And I actually started busting out loud laughing. And Andrew was like, your book, huh? Is that funny? And I was like, yes. I had to tell him what was going on, and he actually laughed too. So definitely pick this up if you want to laugh, okay? It's hilarious. The next book that I read was Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. It is the final, it's the final book in the original Mistborn series. I know they have a spin-off. I don't think it's considered a Mistborn. I'm not 100% sure, honestly, because I know it's called like the Alloy. Yeah, I don't own it. It's called like the Alloy of Law or something. But I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I can't really tell you a lot of what it's about. I will say the ending I thought was so appropriate, even though it broke my heart. Okay, it broke my heart, but it was appropriate ending. Beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, I'm gonna continue on with the Stormlight Archives series by Brandon Sanderson. But yeah, I did love the Mistborn series. It was great. The final book that I completed in February was Since We Fell by Dennis Lehane. I gave this one 5 stars. You will see it in a few days. I'm editing and uploading a vlog that I did a fun reading experiment on, and I am so glad I read this book. I never would have picked it myself, ever. But, so this one follows your main character, Rachel, who has a very infamous mother, I guess I should say. Well, no, her mother was pretty famous, but very narcissistic at home. But she wrote multiple books about love and marriage, but she was single, and she was just not the best mother. Not the worst I've read about, but not the best. She took Rachel's father's name to the grave. So part of the book is searching for her father, and then after that you see Rachel get married and like go through life basically, but she has a breakdown, a panic attack on live television and gets fired from her job, and then she falls in love, okay, and meets up again with someone from the past, and that's about all that happens that's like normal, okay. This was so good. At one moment I was like, ew, he's worthless, he's garbage, throw him to the curb, get rid of him. And then the next second I'm like, okay, is he that bad? I know what he did was really messed up, but he's redeemable, right? Like, let's redeem him. We got it. And then literally a few pages later I was like, Rachel, what is your problem? Take him back, you're disgusting. Wow. But the ending, wow, I loved it. I loved it. This is also the same author that wrote Mystic River and Shutter Island, which I've never read. I've seen Shutter Island, but look, all I'm saying is you should pick it up if you like mystery and thriller. But yeah, that is it for my February wrap up. So I hope you guys had a great reading month as well. If you've read any of these, let me know. And I hope we have great reading in March as well. So I will see you guys in my next video, which is a reading vlog. So look forward to that. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.
When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find validity.